Hello.
Hi.
It is so good to see you and to have you here. So we're already recording. So
You. We're
um
good.
I love your
Yes.
background. Like I love the tree.
Thank, yeah, thank you. I have little dogs inside, so the noise, they're little yappers.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it's better for me to just, tap in and get some, the natural sense instead of yapping because
Mhm.
they like to be voicey.
Yeah, I hear you. And I
Thank
hope this
Yeah.
it kind of pauses here and there, but I hope that's just my service and not something else. So welcome to this video. Sarah and I are going to talk about addiction, not too much in the addiction part, but like after, how life felt and the energetics of it in the addiction, how life felt and the energetics of it in like total sobriety, um, and how and our I don't know what her perception is yet. And that's why I love this because it's going to be a learning experience for me to see what she has to say about it. So this is cool. Um, and just the whole energy of the word addict, and like and um and then how we found plant medicine, how it's helped us in our lives and that kind of thing. So Sarah, and if you don't know, is a manifestation transformational kind of life coach, sort of, I guess. I found her on some really cool videos that she posts on Facebook, and I just fell in love with her energy, and so I wanted to get to know her like this. And then I didn't know that you had an addiction issue in the past. So when I found that out, it was like, oh, we have a lot in common. So
Right, right. That's the beauty of it all. That's how we begin, or that's how I began, or I think that's how sometimes a lot of us begin to become our own transformation manifester, and we begin to shift our and then where we want to be, and how can that look, and how does that feel? And so my journey started with, some stuff that led me to addiction. And the addiction was the band-aid for not know how to cope, not having the people around me or the skills around me to know how to be able to heal from these things, these wounds as a child. And really looking back, the people around me that I was looking to help me, they didn't necessarily have skills either. They were struggling in their own things. They had their own vices, and they had their own traumas from, their own childhoods. And so recognizing it now and seeing now in the light now that the darkness was just that place, that I was just a seed waiting to be sprouted, and there was something so beautiful that was just needing and yearning to come to the surface. And I had to go through that transitional phase, and now I'm really grateful for every obstacle, every trauma, everything that happened, because it was all alchemy. It was all, I was under pressure. And then what am I going to do with it? And I decided that I was going to turn into a diamond. So here we are.
that is awesome. The so just a quick, and like I said, I don't want to really just stick to the addiction very much, but just very quickly, for me, I didn't really have I don't think I haven't recognized that I had any type of traumas. I just started using drugs to have fun, and when I was young, I dated a guy that was kind of like a half owner of a nightclub, and so it was like a thing with all the X pills, and it just kind of grew to 15 years later finding opiates, and that was it. So went to rehab for 3 years, literally lived in the rehab for, and then I realized that it was like being sober was fine, and it was beautiful in its own way. But there's a thing, like when you're in an addiction, there's a thing you're sort of, you need, it's like for me, it was like I needed more. Sobriety was not enough. I needed more, not drugs. I just needed something to believe in that was better for my spirit. I needed to see all the things. I needed to, I didn't know that things were, I literally did not know, or did not think about and become aware that everything around me is living. All the trees are living, there's spirits. It's like, I grew up Christian, like Catholic. So, you know, um, so throughout
Yes.
throughout the sobriety part, where nothing went into my system ever, because, and that alone is a whole program. Um, throughout that, I just was lost, and I was still miserable, and I was stuck in a cage. And that's just how it looked. Even though I had sort of my dream job, I worked at the rehab that I went to, and I was the business manager there. And then I was the program manager, because that wasn't enough. So I wanted to become more involved in the program part. And so I did that for a while. And then I became a counselor. And then it's like, yeah, there was just something missing
Right.
that I couldn't fill. So how is that for you? Like,
Right.
what was the sobriety part of not doing anything? How did that feel to you? Like,
The sobriety part, that was the journey itself for me, really, because in recovery, I recognized then that it was just like a switch that clicked on in recognizing that I could overcome the biggest obstacle, which I thought that I was facing, was this addiction. And so when I first got into sobriety, I didn't want to just stop there. I began peeling back layers and layers and layers and layers. It brought me to my lifestyle and diet. So then I started peeling back because I was still searching for something. You're very right. Like, that's how I felt too. It's like I got to that place that I thought was everything was going to be good. And then it was still something missing, a void, just a little bit. So then I began to peel back layers of taking, releasing this food. I thought it was okay. So I have food addictions too. I have addictions to this too. I have addictions to that too. And I realized that that I really, if I liked something, I loved something. So I got to this place where I had gotten myself what I felt was nothing. Like, so I didn't have any drug addictions, but I didn't have any other things that I liked either, because I really liked a lot of things. And so I can't eat the foods that I think I want to eat. I can't. It was just like a whirlwind of just really peeling back these layers and recognizing that there was just this little piece of me that still needed to be sparked.
yeah,
And um and so coming into the plant medicine, and I got to the plant medicine because of in so I'm gonna skip back a little bit.
yeah.
Getting into recovery, I was there for a bit, and I really enjoyed real relationships with getting into a more intimate relationship with my partner that didn't have drugs, were no longer involved, so we got to know each other for who we were instead of with the vices that we came along with. Getting to know my children without all of the blur that was there all that time. And then I decided that I wanted something more, and I signed up for school. So I too wanted to work in a rehab, because I knew that if there was one thing that I could do, I could help other people get sober, because that was the one thing in my life, in looking back, that I had truly accomplished. I wasn't the best parent, and I wasn't the best sibling, and I wasn't the best daughter, and I wasn't, like, these were all the checklist of all the things that I thought that I needed to be perfect in society. And because I hadn't really, had a 5 stars on any of those things, I knew that I was really good at recovery. So I went back to school, and soon in getting into the medical field, I went to be a medical assistant. And I found out there that I was really good at being a student. I had never really tapped into that part of me. So as a grown up in recovery, I was a really good student. I sat in the front and I absorbed all of this great information. However, I recognized really quickly that the same medications that I would take as a substitute in my addiction, that I was now learning about in these medical programs, which created this really big shift for me, because I knew that I wanted to be in recovery without any addictions to these pharmaceutical drugs. And now I was in a place, in a classroom, where I was learning about pharmaceutical drugs and how I should be now offering those to other people for health and wellness. And I couldn't wrap my head around that. So I finished the course. I was top of my class, 4.0. That was great. I got my certification. I just knew then that I was going to go the opposite of what that certification was teaching me. Because I also had, my mother had, I felt as though she was a victim of the medical system. And she had passed away in 2015. I got into recovery in 2017. And I remember her downward spiral with these medications. And I had just never connected the dots between the doctors and what I had learned in recovery, and what I had learned in rehab, and then what I had learned now in these courses. And I didn't want to go on that path. So I created my own business. I got to know the herbs. I tapped into nature, and I totally took a different path than what I had excelled in school. I knew from that experience that there was a different way, there was a better way. So I started studying these plants and these herbs, and I started bringing myself into nature and seeing that, just like you, everything is alive around me. Like, oh my goodness, like I can just go in my backyard and I can create health for myself and for my family. And I can, create these beautiful salves and concoctions, and I can heal myself through the beauty of what God has put here for us. So I knew that there was something deeper to it. So that's really when I tapped into plant medicine, and I started really using the plants and for what they were. And I started exploring and educating myself, and really going off, like I said, the complete opposite of all of that. And I met some beautiful people, and I made some beautiful connections. And through that, I made beautiful connections with nature and the plants and my own self. And that's when the real healing began for me, was when I really began to see that those old programs were just that. I didn't have to take them with me. I even changed my name online from my old last name, and I put something that felt really good. Like Sara smiled, and Sara smiles at herself in her own reflection. And how did I get to this place? And how did I transform and transmute all of this darkness and negativity that I once experienced? And how did I come to this place of such alchemy that I created a whole new person? Like, I'm a brand new person. And I never knew this person, and I love her. I love her. And that's so refreshing to be able to say. And then you begin to find other people along the path like yourself who've shared in these experiences, and then you begin to love them, and you see that you've had a similar story and a similar path with them, and we're all one. We're all just one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, the difference between the people that I associate now, like, it's so crazy to think back on the friends or the people that that I associated with back in the day, it's like I never even knew this many magical people could exist. Like the people that I know now, it's like the friendships are so sacred, and they're so seeing each other, and they're so present, and they're so supportive, and and they're all over the world. Like it's just amazing. It's
Right.
like I don't even meet those kind of people that I used to hang out with, and I don't even know where they are. Like, you know how they say, well, the drug, if you, no matter where you go, the stuff is there. I don't know even the first thing to do to find some sort of drug that is not some type of plant medicine.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and the,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, it's like the friends that you make on this journey, oh, change your they you it's just it's a whole different experience, and that's the most thing that I'm grateful for. But
Yeah,
the one.
because
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all
But
right.
what I was going to say is that we're all reflections of one another. So the people that we were hanging out with, and the people that we were finding then, and the situations that we would find ourselves in, and all those situations were a deeper reflection of what was going on inside of us. And then once we begin to remove all of those things, we we see the beauty in everybody else, because we are the beauty inside of ourselves. There's when I think of people who, the people's perception sometimes is so off to me. I'm standing in the same exact place that they are standing, and they are looking from a different perspective, and they can see the world in something that is crumbling around us. And I say, but look at the birds, look at the bees, look at the flowers, and look at the trees. And it's because I'm looking to it through a totally different lens. And I remember those days, and I can do nothing but try to share with that person, like, there's a totally different world out there. Once you tap in and tune in to your true divine gift, it's all there waiting for you. And so it's like these friends and experiences that we meet along the way now in this place, they are such gifts to us. And that was something too that I struggled with, like receiving and taking compliment, and true genuine touch, true genuine connection, because it was so foreign to me.
Yeah.
And then I began to truly love myself and have true, genuine connection with self. And then I realized that it was so beautiful, the reflection of others, and, what we experience in this new life. It's magical.
it, re-
It's truly magical.
it really is. And like I remember thinking, oh my God, these people are magical. Almost like thinking to myself, well, I'm not that level. I don't know if I can get to this level of absolute magic, but this is way in the beginning. And then about a year or so later, I realized, oh shit, I'm magical too. I'm, I'm the same thing to them that they are to me,
Right,
you know?
right.
And then that was a huge moment for me, was that realization. But to just to share a little bit of how I kind of came to the medicine is, um I have a good friend that I was in, well, I wasn't in the program with him, but I was a staff member when he was graduating the program. And so after we closed down in for because of COVID, the actual long-term rehab closed down. So everyone had to leave, blah blah blah. So after the program was over, me and him started talking. We're very good friends. He's way younger than me. It's nothing but friendship, but we're good friends. And he would call on me, but to ask about a girl issue, or I was his counselor. So what. And then one day he just invited me to, he was like, dude, you want to go do a peyote ceremony with me? And I thought, no, oh my God, no, I can't do peyote. That's a mind altering substance. there's no, I
Right.
can't, my sobriety will be gone. I had like 8 years of sobriety. I'm like, no, I would never. And the more I said it, the more I knew it was bullshit. Like, that he was like, no, this is not something that's addictive. Just come, let me show you. And this is one of my best friends still to this day. Um, and so he took me into the teepee for the peyote ceremony, my first ever anything like that. And it was like looking around the teepee, I could see each person's eyes and I could see into their soul. I just cried the whole time. I never experienced anything like it. And it was the first time that I real life experienced magic. And not magic as in a spell and a this and all these things, not magic like that, just the magic of seeing through someone's eyes to each other's souls, and the magic of just nature, the magic of the fire. I'm very connected. The fire is my thing. It's like I have a thing with the fire. So the magic of the fire, the magic of the songs and the drums and the rattle shaking all night long, going around. And that's what you do in the peyote ceremony, is you do.
Right.
Yeah, like, and I remember walking outside after that, and the horses were there. I don't know if you've ever been to Texas at Brooks property to do any ceremonies. But anyway, so they have horses. They have horses, and the horses literally walk you out of ceremony. Like they come in, they look at you, and now I'm looking through the eyes of the horses too, and just seeing into their souls. It was like the first time that I was like, I found it. I found it. This is it. This is it. And it was like, and then after that, a few weeks later, we did an ayahuasca retreat there. A few weeks later, it was, what people don't understand is this is not, none of these mushrooms and peyote or ayahuasca combo, whatever, all of the things, none of them are will make you want to do it every day. Like,
Right.
no, it's not the same
Right.
thing, and yes, it's mind altering. It's mind altering to the way, into the frequency that, of better, not of this demonic like frequency of drugs that people literally probably put spells on to make people addicted.
Right.
It's complete evil and
Right.
complete, and but the plant medicine gets you in touch with your spiritual side. It sort of shows you who you are and shows you who everyone else is and shows you that you're connected, and you're connected with the
Right.
fire and everything too. It's like, it's just such a
But
different.
yeah, what you're saying, so the word pharmacy, pharmakia, is the Latin word, it actually means sorcery. So what you're saying is absolutely true. The word pharmakia, from the pharmacies, from the word pharmakia, and
Yeah,
in Latin means sorcery. So
did not know
it
that.
is truly, designed, and I believe that, um these programs in which we're given, with that, when we come into recovery, and we are told that we need to have complete abstinence, and but the first thing we're also told is that we are, what is the first one, we are powerless,
Powerless.
right? Right.
No.
Right. So if the first thing we're told is that we are powerless, and we will always be powerless, and we will always be damaged goods.
Ugh.
And so with this tapping into a different realm, into the loving realm of nature, it teaches us that we were never damaged,
Mm.
we were never powerless. None of that is true. And that is the true sorcery and the spell of the whole program that they have us under. And so we go now, we're thinking that we need complete abstinence from everything. And that really, we're allowed to sit in rooms and, talk about how powerless we are. And we can share complete trauma stories and horror stories about everything that happened in the past. They don't really give much of way to break free of that old program. Just that we're going to sit there and sulk about how terrible it is at all times, and we'll smoke cigarettes and drink coffee about it. And I'm not saying that these rooms don't
Right.
hold substance, and they're not a stepping stone for, but everything should be a stepping stone in our lives. We should get to a place where we see that, you know, powerless doesn't really resonate anymore. I feel like there's something really special with me. There's something really powerful inside of here. And I really feel like I should tap into that at some point. And I don't have to call myself these old labels anymore. They're not they're not for me. It worked. It got me from here to there, and it served their purpose. I'm grateful for that. And I don't have to put this label on myself for the rest of my life. I can, venture out and see what else is out there. And yeah, I believe that true beauty happens whenever we begin to see how truly, powerful we are, and that we all have that. Everything around us has power, and really it only has the power that we give it. We are the true power. So just like burning sage or whatever thing that we decide that we want to use, it's us with the power.
Yeah.
And so how convenient for those who had programmed us to tell us that we were powerless, because then they hold all the power. And sneaky, sneaky little suckers you are.
Yeah, like the word addict, I used to be, for a little while, I was very like angry at AA and all these things. And then I realized, no, that there is maybe a point where you're powerless at the very beginning. Maybe there is a point at the beginning. I mean, I went to rehab and lived there for years. So like, I'm not like a regular person that like just stopped at their house and still was around all their druggy friends. I didn't have all that. So I had it kind of
Right.
easy, because I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. But
Right.
for a few months, I didn't know. I probably would call myself not powerless, but there was no way I would have stayed quitting. I was too far gone. I was too
I
far
got you.
gone. Yeah, I needed to learn how to live. I needed to learn how to socialize. I needed to learn how to work. I needed to learn how to play and have fun without, because in my addiction it was like everything was about looks for some strange reason. I was in a space of prostitution and all of that good stuff. Like I did all the things that good addicts do, right?
I
So
got you.
so it's like,
I am following, sis.
so so I can't negate the AA and the things that we had to do at first, because a lot of us can't just go from nothing to from and then all of a sudden life turns magical. No, there's things that you have to go
Right.
through, and
Right.
I do
Right.
believe that it's
Right.
so. I'm not angry at it anymore, but I'd like to change the whole program. I'd like to
Right.
change it in a more positive way. But anyway, we have oh, the time is running out. It's okay. 10 more minutes. All right. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Let's see. So yeah,
Well,
then mm, go
you
ahead.
you were just saying that, you needed, that you were angry at the
Yeah, yeah,
program, but yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, I do see that it's a great stepping stone. It's a
Right.
great tool to get from point A to point B. It 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 changed my life.
Yeah, yeah.
AA changed my life for the better. I'm definitely grateful for everything that I learned there, and it really put me on a good path of some, wholesome, healthy thought process. And then, like I said, as you grow, you realize that there's something else, or
Mhm.
we hope that there's something else.
Right. And I think I
Yeah.
was talking about the energy of the word addict. Yeah, it just makes me
Oh,
so crazy when people say I am an addict. because it's another box. It's another matrix. It's another program that people will not, it's like a religion that people will not look outside of unless you're prompted to, like my friend prompted me to go to the peyote ceremony. But it's just, it's just I don't believe in that. I don't believe that I am an addict today. Like, you know what I'm saying? I believe that
Right.
if I started using meth or something like that I would probably become addicted. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
Right.
at this point, it's like, okay, we have 9 minutes left. So at this point, it's like I've learned from grandmother ayahuasca. You know, she's helped me to clear the programs of my life. You know, just the life stuff that everybody has. You know, kind of scrape away all those programs. And all the medicine has helped me. Yeah, and then mushrooms have taught me how to be magical and taught me how to play with the magic of nature and you know and there's and those things I feel like have helped me not to fill the void, because if I didn't have them I'd be fine too, but they have just helped me to see life in a way that is okay for me to not to not have to do all these, you know, adventurous things in that way. Like, you know, an addict typically, when you're in your addiction, you typically like have all the highs, right? You have those low lows, but you have all these high, and you're searching for those highs. Like, I don't have the need to search for those higher things. Like, I'm happy in the mountains right now in my log cabin, you know, chilling and not really doing anything but like sitting outside and meditating and working a few hours a day. And you know, and life is so good. Like, when people come down the road, it's like I kind of go inside because I don't really want to talk to the new people, and I'm just, you know, I'm just kind of being a hermit right now, like, you know.
Right. Right.
um and I just really, what I want people to get from this, not, it's not like go out and do plant medicine. Like, it's not really about that. It's about, think about where you are, think about the whole program, and regardless if you do any mind altering chemicals or plants or anything like that, start to open the box and start to be able to be aware of that this is a program and that we don't have to stay in a powerless and victim state. Like, we did all this shit to ourselves in our addiction. Like, there was, you know, we did this to ourselves.
Right.
But for me, I know that I did it to myself. Um, and I have the power. I want the people to know that they have the power to come out of the box, to come out of the
Right.
box out of at some point. And everybody has a different point. Everybody has a different place where they should come, where they should open it. You know, and maybe some
Right.
people should stay
Absolutely.
in it for a minute. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And to recognize the power in the words I am, recognizing how truly powerful I am is, and everything I am so becomes, so is, so creates. And we are able to put anything that we so desire after the words I am, and so it shall be. And why would we waste that space after I am, such powerful words? Why would we waste that space to hold on to a part of us
Mhm.
that we don't want to be? It doesn't have to be there, you know? So the I am an addict,
Mm.
and we are creating that every time we say that, because what we think we become. So it becomes, our thoughts become our beliefs. And so saying that over and over, I am an addict, I am an addict, I am an addict. Now that's in your subconscious mind. Now you're believing you're an addict without even consciously thinking that you're an addict. So now you're still walking and talking and acting as an addict. You feel as though you can't touch that and you can't do that, and you get, oh, because I still have these addict tendencies. And it's okay to release that from ourselves and say, no, I am healed. It
Mhm.
is okay. it is okay to release that attachment to something that once served me. It got me from there to here, and it's okay to release that and to reprogram myself with new things. So if we're going to say I am, let's say I am healed, I am magical, I am creative, I am abundant, I am love, I am nature, I am, there's so many other words that we can put after I am that are so much on a different vibration than the word addict.
Yeah, yeah.
Addict.
It's
It's
powerful.
so low vibrational.
It really is. It's a box.
Yes, yeah.
So, is first of all, if there's anything else you'd like to say, you go ahead and say it. But I want for people to be able to see you again. So, like maybe give out your. I know you have a website and stuff like that. Share.
So yeah, so on Facebook, I am Sarah Smiled. I am Sarah Smiled on Instagram, and Sarah Smiled on YouTube as well. And my website is tribetruewellness.com. And I have taken the plants and transformed them into beautiful medicines, tinctures and capsules and salves and potions and lotions and things. All these beautiful things that um I took and created and put love into, and um put my love into all of my creations, and it's all natural, organic. Some things I've grown myself, so I really put the love and energy into it. And yeah, all the things that has helped me along on the journey of learning who I was and discovering who I am. And all, so that's where they can find me. I do lives. We do a wellness Wednesday on Wednesdays at 11. I have a co-host, and we get on there and we really just keep it raw and organic and pure, and all the bloopers and all of the obstacles, we keep all those things in there, because I'm really, really passionate about having people to find their voice and to tell their story, just pure and vulnerable, because that's where we begin to heal, when we really tap into our vulnerable place, and we don't feel as though we have to be perfect in sharing. We don't have to be perfect in starting a business. We don't have to be perfect in getting into any new changes of our life. We just have to be present and come with our heart space, and everything just kind of flows freely from there. So that's yeah, that's the mission here, just to be as pure and real as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself,
Yeah.
and I see that, and that's how that when I watch your videos all the time whenever I see them. We have about a minute, and I just love them. They're so. And one of the things that made me resonate with you so much is because you resonate with Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks is the first person I started watching. When someone told me everything's energy, I was like, huh? You manifest your own. I'm like, what? Hold on. So I started going online, and I was the Abraham Hicks all day long. I mean, it was
Yes.
like, so I love and the star,
Yes.
and like there's a few.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, when I recognized that I could create something in my own world, what?
It's like
It
screw
was
drugs.
right. Like, what? This is something. And then to see it transform in my own life, in the life of others, it has been a beautiful journey, and I can only look forward to see where it's going to continue